What's going on, guys and gals? Today we're going to do an assembly video for the KR XR prop kit, so the thermal detonator. So we're going to start with the slide switch. So these are the two halves. I've weathered these to make it a little bit more like the original. I went for like a sort of Endory type thing, camo / grit and grime. Looks pretty cool. Okay, so in the kit you're going to have the little rocker. You're going to have a 3D printed rocker switch and one of the screws. So what we want to do to start off with is you want to stick this through here like that, so it's going to come through. Then you grab your little screw and a 2.5mm RC kit, Allen wrench. You know, there's a bunch of different things for these on Amazon. And we're going to screw it up through here. Now you want to make sure that the long part here is facing away from the hole, so when you rock it, it's not going to interfere. So that's just one thing to make sure. Alright, so like that, that's good. I might have to just trim this anyway. It's got some paint in there. They make these real good to open. Alright, so I'm just gonna go in here and just get rid of some of this paint. I did clear coat this, so I have some gunk. Alright, let's try this again. Let's put that in there. Alright. So now that's screwed in, obviously you see it's very hard to move. So we're just going to adjust it out slightly just to loosen it off, just so it moves, you know, pretty free. It's not too bad, it's still riding. It's a little bit high on mine because like it's painted. I did try and leave some of it out. It's pretty good though. So just goes forward like that, and then it's got a track as well, so the track is just going to sit on top here like that, and then we'll just glue that in. I do this at the end. I'm going to have to weather this little thing as well, but basically that's what we're going for step one. And again, you know, you have it so the square notch is facing towards the hole, so when you rock it back and forth, it covers like that. So we're going to put that to the side, then we're going to move on to the next part. Alright, so the next part we're going to do is we're going to install the little red holder. Flick it off the table. So this is going to hold the top LED that's going to go into this hole. So it's going to, so you're going to need the little red part and then this part here. So this is the actual holder part. Like that, so that's going to sit inside this little ring and then hold the red switch. So what you might need to do is just cut some of these off. So you want to try and, yeah, so these little spines here will need to be snipped. So you just want to come in and snip these bad boys off. and just let them go flying around the room. Just like that. Because otherwise it won't clear the bezel. So you just want to make sure that it's enough to get the bezel, get the thing in here. It's very fiddly, especially when you have big hands but small fingers like me. So that's how you want to try and set it. So you just want to try and get it flush, just so it's going to be enough to hold the switch in, or hold the light in, and then that LED is going to basically go under there, and that's what's going to light your button. So we'll just get this ready and put this in now. Alright, so now we're going to put this part and sit this in here like this. So mine's probably going to sit and stay just because it's got paint in it to hold it. So you want to just face this away so it's got a little bit of paint in here. Get rid of this. Alright, so we're just gonna put this in there like that, and then you can use a bit of super glue. In here I got Loctite Shit Show Free. So you just want to hold it in and just put a little bit of this like that. Just hold it in there, give it a bit. Shouldn't take too long to get in there. So that clears that. So just around. Oh well, the old Loctite Shit Show Free doesn't really hold up too well. So what we might do is get a bit of thin super glue, and just one little dab, just like that. And then I just use a kicker, so just to spray that in there just to get that set. Doesn't take too long with the kicker. And then yeah, you're golden on that one. We'll come in and we'll glue in the red thing later when we put the LED in. But that's it, that's in there, she's ready to go. So we'll put that to the side and we'll move on to the next part, which is the ring. Alright, so now we're going to put in the front LED bezels and rings. So this part of the kit, you're going to have these little things that are stuck together. So you just want to snip them off. That one. And you just want to make sure that they're snipped. And then you just got to snip the little bridge that's in between them. Do that for all of them. So they're just going to look like that when they're done. Just trim this one off. Alright, so then you're going to have these little rings. So you want to out of there, and then they're going to go into here. These get retained by 3 tiny little grub screws. So these are in another bag. They're in the bag with all the screws, and if you don't lose them, they're going to go in here. So we want to use, what size is this going to be? I think this is 1.5 mil. So you just want to get them in there, get them started. For each one. So they're just going to be going into these 3 rings. Okay. So then you want to stick the LED holders through like that. So you want them to come flush. So you want to push them in from the back, and then you want the ring, the little metal ring, to sit flush, and then you just want to tighten these up. Don't over tighten them, just butt them up so they're just catch like that, and still enough where they're not going to fall out, but your little LED holders are going to fall out the back of it. So you're going to put that on there for the next one. I'm going to put them in there, just make sure it's flush. Same thing, just do it, don't over tighten. So like that, and then this will pull out. And then again, same thing, make it flush. And you'll feel it, just so it butts up, just so they're not going to move, and they're going to fall out just like that. Then I'll just put these to the side, and then we'll move on to retaining the ring into the bottom half. Okay, so we're going to add the little pin into this little hole that's on the side. This is going to act as a little stop for the twist and lock. So you just want to get some tweezers, and just mine dropped in really well. So here we're going to get the old trusty Loctite chauffeur and just put a little bit of a dab there in the hole, and like that. And then we'll just put this to the side to dry. Then you've got your ring. So you've got your 3 holes for the little balled grub screws. This is just gonna locate into these little divots that are on the bottom part here. So we just want to screw them in first. You want to go from the top. The top is the part that's got the little raised sections here. So you want to screw them in. Like that. And then just want to get them in. So just get them in just before they come out of the bottom. Because what we want to do is we want to line up these here with the bottom part. And we want to screw them down so they ride into the little grooves. So it's going to be here. So you can sort of see roughly, you got to get it in the right spot. So it's not going to be there, not going to be there, there, and there. So just want to get this in. So just like that. So you'll be able to see, I don't know if you can pick this up, but where the grub screw is going to be, you can see it's going to be in that the little hole don't know if it's visible. So just, you want to set the tension, so you just want to hold it down and then start screwing just until it touches. Like that, so you can turn it and it will click in like that. So that's how you're going to know it's going to lock into place. And then I just give it slight little bit more, just to give it the extra little bit of tension, so it's a really positive click like that. Alright, so then from there we want to get the bigger screws, and these are going to go into the top part. So from here you want to line up the holes. Line them up. There, like that. So that's going to be underneath that little brow. So you can line them up. You can follow the holes and just drop them in, just so that's going to be under there like that, and then just screw it in. So this is just securing the top part into the bottom part. Like that. So you've set your tension for your balls already from the top, and then this should, if we get it in the right zone, I'm just gonna alright, so we might just need a, so this is where they're dialing in. So see, we've got it in the right spot, but it's a bit loose. So we're just going to undo these, and we're going to put the grub screws down a little bit more. So we'll just maybe give them a full turn each. Screw this on first. Alright, let's see what I line up. Okay, so now we've given it a bit more of a turn. Just gonna find the right one. Like that. So now it's a bit more tension on there, like that. So now it's not going to move anywhere. Right, so it's a positive click. So you just got to dial it in, you know what I mean? It's going to be just part and parcel of it. Mine has a little bit of tolerance just because it's got some paint, but it's a nice positive click. Alright, so that's that done. We're going to go to the next part. Alright, now we're going to move on to the installation part of the board and all the soldering. Some people call it soldering, but they're wrong. So just on my side screen, I've just got the little guide as to here. So I'm going to pre-tin all the ones that we need. So we're going to have, starting from the bottom, it's going to be the auxiliary. No, this is going to be your top switch. So that's your top switch, positive and negatives, and then the next ones are the LEDs. And then your top two are going to be battery. And then we're going to do these ones are the optional LEDs. I'm not going to use that one, so we're just going to use the top ones of the speakers. Alright, so that's pre-tinned. That's all that we need for that. So this is the little 3D printed holder, and that's basically going to sit in there. Well, that sits. Actually, yeah, that goes in there. So we've got to take this off, but we've got to wire up the LEDs anyway. So we'll do that now. So now that we've got all that dialed in anyway. So this is what you would be doing if this is your finish now if you're a static prop, after you just glue in the little LEDs. Okay, so now we're going to put in the LEDs. So we're going to put these into the switch holders. So they just push in and sit in there like that, and then they're going to go in here. So I wait until they're all in because we can tie the grounds together. So sit in there like that. White on white. Right. So they're in there. Let's push these in. Okay, so now we're going to tie all the positives together. So we'll put the positives. So we'll just put these in here, and we're just going to glue these. So the positive is the longer one. And get these in here and glue them so they're all the same way. Let's put super glue. Then we just get our kicker to wipe out like that. Kicker. Right, so they're in there, so they're all glued. So now we want to work out how we're going to arrange these. So we'll bend down all the negatives and bend up positives. Oops, that's positive. Alright, so that's all the positives down. Oh shit. Positives up, negatives down. So now Okay. Since there's enough room. If it was really tight, I would just daisy chain these together, but we can do that. Outside of this, so we'll get some heat shrink. And we'll do these on the board. Just run all the powers together. Alright. So then we want the grounds. So the grounds are going to go to individual pads on the board, and the positives are going to just all be looped together. It's not really even. Sorry if this is not very engaging. Alright, so that's that done. Now we want to wire up this one. So we're going to get our big LED. Let's push him in there. So just want to glue this into there. Like that, and get it all over yourself. Beautiful. Just put a little bit of glue on there. Alright. So now we're gonna wire this. Power, we're going to run, this is a little trick if you don't want things to roll around, just put them on a towel. So the long one, so this is power. Now this one gonna make a little bit longer, because if you need to take the top off, I find it always easier just to do this in place. So some heat shrink. There. negative, I'm going to use a different colour. I'm going to use orange so I know they're differentiated. That one. Got that. More heat shrink. Alrighty, so that's all the LEDs wired. So we've got orange for data on the main one, and then all the reds will be tied together, and then we've got the blacks on the rings on these ones, so they can go to the individual parts of the board. So now what are we going to do here? I can't remember which one. So now we'll go speaker maybe. So that's going to go in there like that. So we'll just wire off the speaker, and we'll do black and white for the speaker. Now we'll do purple. Blue purple. Okay. It's going to sit like that, so I won't like that. Okay, and this is going to sit in here. So I might hot glue this one, because if you use super glue, you always run the risk of it going in and jamming the diaphragm. So if we just little spots. Suffice. Licky and sticky. Oh, it's not going anywhere. People will be like, oh no, hot glue in a prop install. Oh, the horror. See, doesn't move. And no risk of jamming up the diaphragm. Okay, so that's going to run, I think, to the outside here. Now we've got to think about the battery. thing's so hard to open. Alright, so I think let's lay this out. So the board's gonna go here, assume like that, or the other way. I guess maybe like that. So the battery's going to go here, and they're going to go down to there. Okay, so and the big switch is going to sit in here, like that. So if we run how much slack we're going to need about here, so if we just cut the whole thing off, so we just got to think about how we're going to run the cabling. So we might dump them down to there. Speaker's going to go up the top, this side, so speakers are going to go here. So run. So they can come under and then go down the side like that. Yes, so we'll chop them. Okay, so let's start to wire this up. Let's do put them there, because we should be able to wire everything else in place when this is down. Okay, so we're going to wire the speakers up first. Let's bring it up like that. So we're going to put them in like that. So we're wiring across the top. That's going to go down and wrap around here. Okay, so that can go there, and then this can run down and sit right there, because we're going to hot glue the board back in when we're finished. Right, oops. So power is going to be the top. Let's get this switch going. So, okay, so we're going to cut off some of these legs. Okay, so now I'll use helping hand. Red and a thin white. Red. And the red leg, it's going to go on this leg, the first leg here. Now, you can put heat shrink on them if you want, but they're not going to be touching. There's no risk of them touching, and it's plastic, so they're not going to be ground to metal. So I wouldn't worry about it. So we'll just spin them together. And so one thing we got to look is that way is going to be. That should be off, so yeah, so we should be running this way. So we just want to sort of test fit this again. So this is going to be into there. So this is going to be off. Yeah, that should be good. Yep. Alright. So I'm not going to hot glue this down yet. I want to make sure it all works. Then we'll come in and hot glue this. So this switch. So what I might do is, so this switch is going to be going to be here. Okay. So switch activation is this one. So we'll run switch ground. Start to wire the board now. So that's that done. Then we need all the grounds that are going to go here, but we've got to do them in order. So we'll have that's interesting. So I have so they're going to be coming over here. So this is 1, 2, 1. Okay, so what I'm doing here is the middle one's the long one, then the uncut one's the first one, and then the cut one's the last one. So what we can do is set the battery in so we know where we're going. Spin them like that, and then we're going to go, so this one's going to be the first one, and the first one is going to start in the second slot. So I'm going to wire from here. So I'm wiring them this way because the board's going to sit in this way. Yes, it's going to be ground, this one. And the next one, that's the big one. This one. Just undo this one to get a bit more length. Easiest to see with the camera in the way. Okay, so ground. Okay, we're done. We need to move all these up one. So the bottom one, this one's not populated. I wonder what that one's for. Okay, so this one we don't use, and then that one is the orange, so we'll do that one last. And then we want to do, so we've got the purple, now we're going to tie all the positives together from the switches, so they're going to go like this, and then we need the activation that's coming from this one as well. We need this one, but I might add that one. we'll do that on the other side. Okay. So we've just got that to go to there and the power, and then we want to do this power, so we've got positive up top. I don't think wondering if there's an easy, oh, I guess it's got deep sleep mode. Too sure what's going to happen with this one. Whether or not the things can actually turn on. I didn't turn on, although I think you need to have the ESD.
Many hours later.
Okay, it's a couple hours later now. When I plugged it all in before, I wasn't getting any power. So it racked my brain because I checked the diagrams, everything was working, everything was wired properly. So I thought, you know what, maybe it's the battery. So last time I did the thermal detonators, I bought a whole bunch of these batteries, swapped out the battery, and Bob's your uncle. So yeah, always check your batteries, I suppose, for troubleshooting. So now we need to try and work this bad boy in. The battery is a little bit smaller than the other one that comes in the kit, This one's a 650 milliamp, this one's a 750 milliamp, 3.7 volt. This is the same battery that I used in the last thermal detonator I built, so I know that they work and they're reliable. So we'll just feed this beast back down here. If I can feed said beast. There we go. And we have to also, actually what I'll do is I'll feed, put this switch back in first. So we're going to have, yes, this way. So it's going to be here, going towards the front. So before we glue this in place, this switch, I do just want to make sure that it's long enough. So to do that, we need to run the board where it's going to go, like that. Feed these wires down if we can. It's a bit twisted. Okay, so there we go. Goes in there like that. Goes in there like that. So that's flush. You're not going to get these wires perfect, so just do your best. There's a little bit of space down here. I'm going to get the positive wires if we can over the top of the switch. That was my phone. Okay, so that's in there, that's in there. We'll just dump these down the side. Like that. We put these. So the only thing we haven't wired yet is the top cap LED. But for now I just want to make sure that the button clearance is okay, to make sure we have, make sure it's going to go down far enough basically. Oh, these wires are a pain. Yep, I think that's good. Okay. So, twist these. Now what I'm going to do is it needs to go in. Actually, we won't be able to get that in there anyway. So we'll say we'll leave that much. So this one, the ground or negative, which is we made orange, that's going to just go into the second to top spot. This might be hard to see. Like that. Just Right, and then the positive is going to go to the other stack, but what I'm going to do is going to go on this one. I'm going to put this on this side. It's a little bit easier. Happy little clouds. Some spinning. Like that. I'm going to put him right here. Just like that. That way you don't have to worry about these, you know, desoldering up the top. So now, red button's on. The sequencing looks good. I think it's not too sure of the function. I think if you hit the board, assume it explodes. There you go. And it should cycle back. There you go, beautiful. Beautiful. Alright, so that's the wiring part of it done. Now we're going to put this into the dome. So you want to just make sure that the switch is in to the little knob. Actually, it's probably going to be easier to do it when it's on. Actually, first off, yeah, let's just double check this because it helps if you have it around the right way. Fit in the last one, so okay, so what we need to do is we need to turn this around. Get him and flip him. So we're going to be taking this out one last time once we know that this is going to be working. Should be in the now. Yep. Right, so we know that that's good. Pull this out again, and we're going to drop some hot glue inside this. Let's try and tuck this speaker cable down into the side there. Oh, the humanity of hot glue. I don't know why people are so anti-hot glue. It's the best. It's the best. Alright. So now we can get them in there. That's going to be down the side. So that's going to be in there. So now we want to secure this into there. So we just bend them up. Make sure that that's into the hole like that. Then we want to Screw our screws. That one's in. You can see in the chassis there's just I don't know if you can really see it, there's just like a little curve cut out for that screw, which is always handy to know that it's in properly. And then this one. Alright, so now we want to line up so the dimples, I think it's not that one, it's not this one, and yeah, we should fit him in. There's my phone again. There you go. So that's it, completed. I like that, I like the wear. I did leave a little bit off from here. I just got to go in, just weather in around here. It's just a little bit too clean though. The one on screen is pretty clean in here as well, but I'll still go in and dirty it all up a little bit. I went for the, like I said, the jungly sort of non-canony look, and I just gotta weather some of this, but yeah, we're good to go. She's all in there. Give it a bit of shake and a tap, and that's it. So I hope that makes it a little bit easier for some of you guys that want to put this together. There's a few challenges on the way, just with the board, the way that it lays out the board. The biggest problem is the battery, so yeah, this I'll talk to Cal and just see if he's got any, if he knows why. Maybe the battery protection blew. I did have it on charge for like 6 hours in between doing the video, and it did charge. It was charging, it was green. So just to show you what happens, how to charge, if I can get it off. There we go. So it's just a micro USB charge. I might actually, yeah, after the video I'm just going to go back in, just going to hot glue the board in place, just to stop it from moving up and down. But yeah, plug it into there. There's a little green light on there, and yeah, you're good to go. So I hope that helps. So it might have been a bit all over the place, but it's hard to work through the camera with working while you're trying to film, but hopefully it gives you a bit of an idea. So yeah, that's it. Thanks guys, and we'll see you in the next one.